The EP Podcast. Heard everywhere podcasts can be found, and always at theeppodcast.com.
Sitting down here at the 9-foot homemade oak bar as we enter the holiday season. Two guys that I wanted to have down here for just a couple of laughs and to talk a little bit and maybe play a little bit of trivia. Mark Marzullo at the end of the bar. He's one of your village trustees. Norm Anderson between me and Mark also sitting down here. How are you guys?
Good, Chris. How are you?
Good, good.
Everything's beautiful.
That's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for what you're going to say.
Never had a bad day in my life.
Right, never had a bad day in my life. I like that. Any day you wake up above ground is a good day. Yeah.
The day does not start in St. Mary's. It's a good day.
I love the Markisms.
We always wait for him what he wants to say, right?
I love the Markisms. That's what I look forward to when he comes down here. So this episode, just like every episode of the EP Podcast, brought to you by the First National Bank of Evergreen Park, located in that iconic building at the corner of 95th and Pulaski. Go in and see them today for everything from accounts from your children to home equity lines of credit, business accounts. The Broadcast Basement On-Demand Radio Network has the account over at the First National Bank of Evergreen Park. Check out the Total Access checking account. Free ATMs nationwide, $300 bonus with qualifying activities, mobile banking tools, award-winning customer service, no overdraft fees, no minimum balance, no monthly maintenance fees. A lot of banks do that to you too. The First National Bank of Evergreen Park, member FDIC. We're going to do a little bit of trivia. I know you guys get competitive. Before we do that, the holidays are upon us. We're this episode coming out right after Thanksgiving. We're going into December now. We're already in December because Thanksgiving was so late in the year. Are you prepared for it? I've seen the village already has all of its stuff up. There's all these things that are planned. We've taken Dickens Festival. We've renamed it, rebranded it. It's coming up this weekend. There's all these things that are happening. Are you ready for the holidays in your house?
I'll let Norm address that one.
Norm, you do all your Christmas shopping already?
I did.
Are you the one in charge of it all? You take care of all the kids?
Yeah, the ones that I want to buy for, but the other half takes care of, stuff. I give them the money.
You give out the money.
I give them money.
Right.
That's all they want. Now, to roll the crystal, they want the money.
Are you still decorating the front of the house?
Nah, my kids do that.
Yeah, you have the kids do that.
Yeah, I'm too well. I'll fall off the ladder.
I should have a boy or two.
Yeah.
I got 3 daughters. Hey, adios.
You still decorate. I've driven by your house.
I decorate myself.
I
used to go on the roof
pay for that
and get everything done. 10 years ago, I'm at the top of the roof. I looked down and I go,
Yeah.
you could die now.
I'm with him on that.
So you get to a certain age, like, you could die from falling off a roof.
Exactly.
So I said, we'll just go over in the bushes and around the porch and everything. But all the holidays, I'm at a good point in my life. I just sit in a chair and I look at everybody and go, tell me how much it cost and tell me where I got to be. That's all I want to do.
He sat on with that, right on with that.
That's all I want to be too. Right? Like for Thanksgiving, I'm going to tell you something. This is one of the great perks.
No stress.
I didn't understand that this was a possibility when I was married, but now divorced, nobody in my family expects anything from me. I mean, it's amazing. Thanksgiving.
That's less stress for you, Chris.
Thanksgiving, there was no bring this dish. There was no make this. It was my dad calling me up going, just bring a case of beer and some folding chairs. And I'm like, all right, I can handle that. I'm like, do you need me to make anything? He's like, nobody wants you to cook. It was just...
That's a perfect setup, though.
Right. Like I show up, nobody asks for me to do anything. I don't have to have anything ready. I just go sit down.
Watch the game.
Right, exactly. I watch the game. Look at this guy. He's raising 3 kids by himself. Oh, right. He's fine. It's the greatest thing in the world. Feet up. I love it. It's amazing. So
we're going to watch the game. Everybody gets some Tums because the Bears are playing Thursday. We're all going to get heartburn after our dirty.
Detroit.
We're recording before the game actually happened. And watch, we're sitting there groaning about and they probably pulled off a win. No, they didn't. There's absolutely no way they did that.
Man.
Yeah, absolutely terrible.
Chris, wait till next year.
Yeah.
This is why I don't invest in Chicago teams my time. Because they all lose all the time, so I'm done.
Right.
I saw the Bulls. I saw the Bears. Saw the Blackhawks. I'm good.
Yeah.
They all won championships. You can put me in St. Mary's. I'm good.
Yeah.
Do you guys have a thing in Evergreen during the holidays that you enjoy doing, whether it be going to Capuano, ice rink, or I know that they'll have the winter festivals. They did that thing that one year where they had the guy out there with the ice sculpture, using the chainsaw over by where the fire department was. There's all these little things that'll happen during the winter season or the holiday season. Is there a thing that you like the best? Is it the lights? Is it going out? What is it?
I like the December 7th.
Okay.
They call it Dickens.
Yeah.
That's my favorite.
They've renamed it, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the trivia questions. Do you know the new name? You better think of it before we get to this.
Can I reach for my Cliff Notes?
Pass.
And I just read it today, but
I did too. I was like, oh, man. He's not going to
I'm
ask
getting a little bit older, so in Italian, I guess they call it Babaluch.
Oh, okay. All right. That's
I just
awesome.
read it.
Yeah, exactly. What about you?
I like the tree lighting. I like
Tree lighting?
The tree lighting is
caroling.
one of my favorites.
Yeah.
It's it's all the donation was for cancer,
Yes.
and it was just. And I know many people that have been there over the years, and they've passed away since then. And I always used to look in the crowd. I go, "No, this guy. I know this guy, and this guy, and then now this guy's gone, and this guy's gone." But I'll tell you what, it was funny. The first time I went to it, my wife and I just became a village trustee, and the nuns were there. They were running the whole thing. It was all about cancer, and the guy was Kleinberg Horn Funeral Home.
Okay.
So he was right. I forgot it was Art Hornberg, I think it was. So the whole thing's about cancer, and thing's over, and we're walking away, and all of a sudden the guy's lighting up a cigarette. And that wife goes, "The cancer guy's lighting up a cigarette. He shouldn't be doing that." I go, "Hey, that was 30 years ago, so it was okay."
Yeah, back then you could do a lot of things, say a lot of things, get away with a lot of things.
She got a kick out of that.
Yeah, exactly. What?
There's also that everybody who sets it up, every holiday, Halloween, so forth and so on, do a great job.
Yeah.
It is top notch.
My favorite part of the season, I know that we're in the holiday season when Bill Green's out there testing all the light bulbs. When I'm driving my kids to school and I go by Circle Park, and he's the guy, if you don't know, who sets up the lights, and every year he looks so nervous right before they light
he
the
does.
place. And every time I say something about it, he goes, "Stop trying to jinx me," and he gets all fired up about it. Okay, but I know he listens to the show religiously, and trust me, Bill, I'm thinking of you
Bill
as you
does a
go and you
wonderful
test them all.
job.
Does a wonderful
Wonderful
job
job.
on that
They all
tree
do.
We're
lighting.
lucky to have them.
Yeah,
They all do.
It's amazing. So, all right, so we're gonna do some trivia. All right, this is something that we haven't done in a while with the
Here we go,
trivia.
Marzullo.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
And they test out their buzzers. If you get to watch this on the YouTube channel, and it'll be out within the week after this comes out on the audio, trust me, you're going to want to watch these two
I might be in
guys
trouble.
Chris,
slam their hands down on the buzzers.
tell Marzullo get his hand off the red.
Now, Chris, I'm just saying the last two times I smoked Norm, okay?
You
won by one.
I'm letting. Hey, you win by 1 point or win by 10 touchdowns. The win's a win.
Have you ever won?
I don't think.
No, I don't think you've won before.
No, he only beat me like once.
No, it's been multiple
Twice.
times. We've done this multiple times.
I'm letting him win tonight.
You're okay. What if I told you that before you got here, he beat you here and he was trying to figure out how to get the batteries out of your machine?
Okay,
I mean,
my guy Norm.
I was trying. I was trying to. And if they didn't have a screwdriver, I didn't have a little screwdriver. I was going to go to my truck
I'm
and get.
glad I had a fellow paisan here
Right.
to take care of Norm so he wouldn't.
The funniest
Do
thing
what
is,
I would do.
remember the first time we did the trivia thing? You guys were down here, and I didn't have a way for you to buzz in. Okay, so Norm loses.
We're slapping.
And he's mad because he doesn't think that I'm noticing his buzz in than your buzz in. However we were doing, I don't know if you had to make a noise. I don't know
No,
if
we
you
had to
slammed
slap on the bar.
Whatever we were doing, okay. And you were like, I got robbed. So I'm out that night. I'm out like 2 nights later, 3 nights later. It's like a Friday night. We've recorded a few nights beforehand. And my kid calls me up and he goes, "Dad, there's a strange guy standing on the porch and he's got some boxes." I go, "What?" He goes, he's dropping off electronic buzzers. He's like, "Give these to your dad for the next time." And that's all he said to me, and he just left them with me. I'm like, "That's village trustee Norm Anderson. He's dropping off buzzers for the next trivia."
Norm wanted to make it fair and equitable, and here we go.
If we're playing Family Feud, we're going to do it right.
Chris, I'm getting a lower. What happened when he got the buzzers? Who won that next?
You won that one too. Yeah, you won that one
thank
too. You won that one too. Okay, this one's going to be
I might be in trouble tonight.
Christmas trivia.
Okay.
Okay,
right,
there's
let's see
only
what we can
one
do.
question, and you already know what it is. It's actually going to be Evergreen Park centric. The rest of them are all just Christmas trivia, holiday trivia. Okay, so there's no advantage here. There's no Norm going, "I don't know that, but Mark knows that because he lives in that side of town." This is something everybody should have an equal chance
Well,
at.
he'll point out I'm older, so I know more.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how he gets me on
All right.
age.
All right, here we go. It's going to be first 1 to 5. All right, 5 right answers. First 1 to 5 wins. And we're gonna hit those of you, if you're on camera, I don't know if you're gonna get the music. We'll have the music on camera. We're gonna hit a little bit of music here, introduce this thing, and away we go. And the first question is, first one to buzz in and answer it correctly. If you miss, you could the other guy can steal. What Christmas decoration was originally made from strands of silver? What Christmas? Norm Anderson.
Tinsel.
Tinsel is correct. Norm gets
Beat me
one.
to the punch. I was going to say tinsel.
Tinsel. Okay.
Got me.
Here we go. In the song Frosty the Snowman, what made Frosty come to life? Look at Norm Anderson.
Top hat.
It's not. You know what? I'm going to go with it because on the cartoon it is a top hat. I think in the original it's an old silk hat, but it is
I
a
give
top
it to
hat in
him.
the cartoon. I'm going to give
Norm's
that
on
one to him.
fire tonight.
2-0.
I told you.
2-0. You know what? I'm going to tell you something. Watch the YouTube video and watch Mark get ready to hit the buzzer and look at his good friend and be like,
Hey,
I'm going to
serious.
give him a chance, okay? I'm going to give him a chance. You going to buzz it at some point? He's got a 2-0 lead.
Norm.
All right, let's see
All
what
right,
we got
Chris,
here.
if I let Norm loose, we're going to have to pay for deep psychiatric help.
Yeah, we will.
And I don't want my guy to have that.
We'll make it the next meeting, Chris.
All right, here we go. Let's find another one here. In 1981, Bob and Doug McKenzie released their own version of a classic Christmas song. Do you know what song that is?
Do, 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 do. Something like that. Up north.
It's an actual real Christmas song. They made a version of it. You know, everybody has like on
I
their
remember
Christmas
that.
albums.
81. Oh,
1981. You guys were young.
I was 4.
You guys were young back then.
I was probably Riley's daughter.
I was 4 years old.
Something about
I actually
the great,
was 4 years old. Mark made a joke. That's what I
the
was.
Great White North or something like that.
All right, we'll move on. It was the 12 Days of Christmas.
Okay.
The 12 Days of Christmas. Here we go. What Christmas-themed ballet premiered in St. Petersburg, Russia in 1892?
Nutcracker.
The Nutcracker. And Mark Marzullo is on the board, trailing 2-1. The next one, and here we go. What Christmas beverage is also known as milk punch? Yes.
Eggnog?
Eggnog. Norm Anderson takes a 3-1
getting smoked
lead.
here.
Yeah, no, and you were trying. You ain't giving it to me this time.
3-1.
3-1.
I guess I'm not a
Upright.
Christmas guy.
I guess not.
He's like
All
sitting
right.
at Lazy Boy.
All right, here we go. Now we're gonna throw in the village question here that I have. All right, and there are 2 possible answers here. I'll give you. Okay, 2 possible answers. It used to be called the Dickens Festival. In
Yes.
fact, originating, from what I understand, up and down 95th Street.
That's correct.
Okay, and then it became the thing over at the community center, and now coming up on the 7th, it is called what? And if you cannot come up with the name, you can tell me the name of the parade that will be at it for the first time ever.
Pet parade.
No, that is not what it's called. It is not called the Pet Parade. They have a special name for it. It's very Christmas themed. It's not the Pet Parade. Norm, it is a pet parade, but it's called something. Give him 3 seconds. 2.
I was close. Don't I get half a point?
The Rain Dog Parade. And the name of the festival is now Santa's Wonderland. Santa's Wonderland. All right, we'll get away from village trivia because obviously that's hard for the 2 trustees.
Right.
What is the 3-1 Norm right now as we continue on? What is the name of the family featured in the National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation? The last name of the family.
Griswold.
That's right.
Thank you.
Norm's
Got
up
it.
4-1.
I know. Now it's when I come on.
Is this your gift to Norm? Is that what we're doing here?
Norm's on fire tonight. I've been working the yard all day. I'm tired. I don't know.
All right, this one's a little bit more difficult because it's 4-1. Let's see what we have here. The Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer television special. Remember that one with the claymation and stuff like that? What was the name of Rudolph's girlfriend?
Oh my God.
What was the name of Rudolph's girlfriend? 3 seconds. Somebody's yelling it right now at their podcast
I have
player.
no idea.
Oh, yeah.
The answer is Clarice. Clarice is the name of it.
I thought that was the name on what's that show when
that was the one.
Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah,
Silence
Silence
of
of
the
the
Lambs.
Lambs.
That's where I was going. That's where Clarice.
Yeah.
Okay, now you're in my wheelhouse.
All right, here we go. Next one that we have here. Who played George Bailey in It's a Wonderful Life?
Jimmy Stewart.
That's right, 4-2. I
Hey,
had to
tell me
throw
get the hand off the
I had to
buzzer.
throw an easy one in there. I think the video is going to show that is
I know.
that is not true. Okay, here we go. Per a recent holiday fad, in fact, I was explaining to my children that this did not exist when I was a child. What spy hides around people's houses now, reporting back to Santa, who's been naughty and nice? A new addition to holiday traditions that children now have.
A spy?
Yeah, it's a spy. What's the actual name of this spy that shows up and sits in most children's houses? Some classrooms will have it in there. The kids will name it. Yes.
Norm Anderson.
Although I'd love to see him in the outfit.
I saw him look in my
I'd love to
window
see him
one
in the
night, so I
outfit.
thought that was it.
Norm, if you can come up with this one, you win. You're up 4-2 right now.
I have no clue.
The elf on a shelf.
Oh, God.
I never got that.
On a shelf. Okay. All right, we got to find something for you guys. We got to get to an ending here.
Yes,
All right,
we do.
Here we go.
Ask me about the village budget.
He'll win.
All right, what do children typically get in their stockings if they're naughty?
Coal.
Coal. How much coal did you guys get?
Lots.
We got tons. Bags.
I went with some that was in your wheelhouse. Okay, 4-3. Mark is coming back.
Oh, man.
Mark is coming back. All right, here we go. What charity? I'm sorry. The charity Toys for Tots is run by what branch of the U.S. military? It's Mark.
Marines.
Marines. It's 4-4.
That was me.
You didn't even know the answer.
No, I did know the answer. I was going to say.
You were going to say Coast Guard. I saw you. Cool.
All right, let me tell you
4-4.
something right now. What's amazing here is it was 4-1. What's amazing here is that in the beginning, I was questioning whether or not your friend, Mark Marzullo, is helping you, Norm Anderson, by getting you in there. Now, this would be a cruel comeback, beating you in the end with your own buzzers yet
He
again.
did it twice before, didn't he?
Again. Okay, here we go. I'm going to... these were all considered to be easy on the list that I was dealing with. This next one is considered to be not so easy. In Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol, what was Mr. Scrooge's first name?
Ebenezer.
Oh my goodness! That's rough. I feel really bad for Norm. I want to give him a hug. I want to give Norm a hug.
He was at the finish line, and he was going to break the rope.
Was he secretary?
And here comes Marzullo! I had to make him feel good.
Lord only knows.
Wow. Well, I appreciate you both coming on. Once again, the champion of Trustee Trivia is Mark Marzullo.
Well, you can have the trophy.
He can have the trophy. There
There
is
it
no
is,
trophy.
right here.
There it is, yeah.
I feel like
This is our
You can have that.
trophy.
That's
I
a
get
trophy.
this. Thank you.
Listen, I feel like the moment that Norm wins, he'll be dropping off a trophy over at the house.
Well, I will be.
That he'll have made
That's
for
next.
himself.
I think he's leaving with the buzzards tonight, though. I think that's it. He's
Take the
repossessing
battery
your
out of his
buzzards.
for sure.
Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays.
Merry
guys.
Christmas and a
Happy
Merry
Thanksgiving and happy
As Eddie
holidays.
Murphy says, Merry New Year.
Thanks, Chris.
Building relationships, supporting the community, and service. These are the things that Country Financial stands for. They're more than just an office you may pass by as you drive through Evergreen Park. They're neighbors who lend a helping hand and support the fabric of your community, including charitable organizations, sports, financial education, and civic organizations. And since Country is already your neighbor, they want to get together and chat. Call your local Country Financial representative, Mike Thauer, today at 708-425-1559 to talk about the things that are important to you and how he can help you protect them. It is now time for your EP podcast, Word on the Street, brought to you by Spoken Vine Wine Bar and Bottle Shop, Northeast corner, 95th and Kedzie. A great spot for date night, going out with friends, meeting new friends. A great bar there. Great high tables. They've got lounge seats. So many wines available, an amazing menu with small plates. This 21 and over establishment is a perfect spot this holiday season to go and kick back. See it all at SpokenVineWines.com. You heard us mention it with Mark Marzullo and Norm Anderson. You heard it last week on this program as well. This Saturday, December the 7th, Santa's Wonderland comes to Evergreen Park, 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. at the Community Center, 3450 West 97th Street. New this year, the Rain Dog Pet Parade. You do not have to have a dog, just bring out your furry friend, all decked out in their holiday attire to parade around Klein Park at 1 p.m. to kick off this event. There's a vendor fair, Santa's gonna be there, there's the trackless train and bounce houses for the kids, the Holly Jolly Trolley, winter wagon rides, kids crafts, cookie decorating, petting zoo, pony rides, adult beverages, Christmas music, tree lighting ceremony, and so much more. We will see you Saturday at Santa's Wonderland. The Village of Evergreen Park is hiring for a couple of positions right now. A seasonal skate guard position is available for over at the Capuano Ice Rink, and also a part-time farm assistant. They're looking for somebody who's comfortable with farm animals like horses, goats, chickens, rabbits, cats, etc. See more at evergreenpark-ill.com. And the very popular Santa Visits to Your Home begin on December the 6th and go all the way through Christmas Eve. Have Santa come to your Evergreen Park home and see the kids. Also take photos. 20-minute intervals on the weekends, 5 p.m. until 9 p.m. This again is only for homes in the EP. Call 708-229-3373 for appointments and details. For a complete listing of everything going on this holiday season, from the Village, from the Evergreen Park Library, the most recent episode before this one of the EP podcast up anywhere podcasts can be found, and always at the eppodcast.com. Go check it out. It's a half hour that covers everything you don't want to miss this month in Evergreen Park. We're going to wrap up this show with our monthly stop by OSF Little Company of Mary. We're not going to the hospital though. We're going off-site to speak with two surgeons who specialize in different fields. If you've ever been worried about going under the knife, these guys made me very relaxed. And I learned something right here on the EP podcast. I am at one of the many OSF places where people can go and get healthcare. I think everybody assumes that it's always at Little Company of Mary Hospital, and it's not, because you're everywhere. You're in Oak Lawn as well as Evergreen. You're out in many different areas around Evergreen Park, even though that's like the main hub. And so somebody might go to OSF Little Company of Mary, or might be in the system and going there, and then may find themselves talking to one of these two gentlemen at some point. I have Dr. James Bushbach and Stephen Feinberg, both doctors. Not that you're not a doctor. Doctors. James Bushbach and Stephen Feinberg, who are both sitting here, and you're both from the orthopedic surgery section. You're both surgeons, and welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Nice to meet you.
So I have a cousin who is a surgeon. He started in the Navy, and then he became a surgeon. And I always compared him to like one of those really I can save anybody type guys that you'd see like on ER. And I think that some people get the impression that surgeons they just feel like they can do anything. I mean, is there, we watch Doctor Strange in Marvel, right? He's like, I could do anything. Look at these hands. I'm incredible. Do you have magic hands?
Well, there's the surgeries that we have and the different tools we have are pretty good in a lot of cases. And I think they do help a lot of people. There are limits, though, to what we can do with surgery.
And you guys, there's a lot of robotics used now, right, in surgery? Is that something that you guys do?
Yeah, so robotics are coming around new. I think we both use robotics or have the ability to use robotics in our specialties. Myself as a spine surgeon, we have robots that can help us with implant placement and also kind of direct where we do our decompressions for spinal surgery. And with Dr. Bushbach doing joint replacements, they have robots that can help them with where to place the implants as well.
All right, so I just picked that up right there. There are different orthopedic surgeons. I just assumed that an orthopedic surgeon does everything, and I'm sure you learned at some point the generalness of it, but then you specialize in things. So yours is the back, Dr. Feinberg, correct?
Yes, I specialize in spine surgery, so neck and back surgery.
That's probably pretty scary. I would imagine when you get people that need that kind of thing, they're very nervous about that area because, they're worried about paralysis and how they're going to be able to live for the rest of their lives after that surgery.
Yeah, it can be quite intimidating, especially for patients, being told that they may need spine surgery. We usually use spine surgery as a last resort, so only if it's absolutely necessary, and all other non-operative treatments aren't really helping to relieve their symptoms. There are certain conditions where spine surgery is recommended right away, but we wouldn't recommend spine surgery unless we knew that surgery is going to make them better. Now, there's always chances, nothing's 100%, but we do know, from years and years of research that spine surgery for certain conditions does make most patients better.
And you had a different specialty, Dr. Bushbach. What is that?
I did my fellowship training in adult reconstruction, which is hip and knee replacement surgery. So it's a similar thing where there are many different options to treat hip and knee arthritis, including non-operative and surgery options. And we take the patients through all of the different menu of options that we have and treat them appropriately based on what their goals of care are.
My mother is getting a knee operation, so I find this to be very interesting because she doesn't tell me anything about what's going on health-wise. I mean, I'm sure you guys, have had parents and loved ones who, like, you find out they're dealing with something and they don't tell you anything. Like, I found out my dad's entire medical history one time after he blew out both of his patellar tendons, and I'm sitting in the hospital with him, and the doctor comes in and starts telling me, look, well, he's got this and he's got that, and I'm like, I didn't know he had anything. I'm looking at him like, Dad, like, I mean, so she doesn't tell me anything. All I know is her knee looks weird. Like, all I know is that her knee kind of faces in. And I know that she went to Rome and wasn't walking very well, according to my sister. And it was like one of those things for like a couple of months, us telling her, like, Ma, you got to get this thing looked at. Do you find that you get patients who are reluctant because they think if I go and see an orthopedic surgeon, all he's going to want to do is operate? Like, I've done physical therapy before, and the physical therapist is like, oh, you don't need surgery. But it's almost like I feel like if I go and see one of you guys, that surgery is like automatically happening. Is that the case?
No, not at all. So when I see a patient, I like to discuss the range of options. So from non-operative to operative intervention. So I always talk about a 3-tiered approach, always starting with the least invasive thing first, which would usually be physical therapy, maybe use of over-the-counter pain medications such as Tylenol, Advil, Aleve. And most patients, I find, do get better with just that approach themselves, probably somewhere between 80 to 90% of patients. And then I talk about, plan or tier 2 or plan B, which would be cortisone injections, which may or may not be an option depending on what's going on with the patient, what we see on imaging. And then plan C is always, or not always, but plan C, if the imaging is amenable and the symptoms are consistent, can be spine surgery.
Yeah, it's similar philosophy, right? So there's a menu of options. The least invasive are the non-surgery ones, and we always start there. Those include anti-inflammatory medications, physical therapy. There are steroid injections, gel injections for knees, different types of bracing. And so we always try those least invasive options, and sometimes those are inadequate. And then we need to start talking about surgery options, and we have good surgery options, but it's certainly not the first thing we try.
I know that one of the things that she was worried about, and I'm sure you get a lot of patients that are worried about it, is, okay, if I go and do this, what's the recovery like? Is it really going to make that big of a difference? And I'm sure that you guys find time while you're going through, here are all your options. Some of them are non-surgical, but if you plan on being on this planet for a while, this is the thing that's probably best for quality of life. Is that a general conversation that you're normally having with people?
Yes, absolutely true. And we know that from the research that has been done over the last 50 years in the field of orthopedics. We wouldn't be doing surgery if all the research was showing that if we do this surgery, people are worse off than if they did not have surgery.
So how do you end up here?
So I grew up in Oak Lawn, so this South Side is home for me. And so I was looking for employment, and OSF is a really good option. I like the culture and the mission to help and serve people on the South Side. My wife was born at Little Company and Mary Hospital, so I know a bit about the area and the services that they provide. And
my path is a little bit different. I'm not native to the South Side. I'm more of a North Sider myself. But I have been practicing for about 5 years up in the north suburbs of Chicago, and I was just finding that for what I do as a spine surgeon, that area was very congested or oversaturated with spine surgeons.
There was a need here.
Yeah, so there's a lot of competition, and then it just felt like there was much more of a need here in this area, that there's not as many spine surgeons around that are able to take care of these patients. So it just seemed like a good opportunity to be able to reach more people.
Are you guys good at steady hand kind of thing? Were you good at operation as a kid? Do you do that every once in a while? You're looking at it and go, still not shaking. Because I get nervous doing most things, right?
Yeah.
I'm always worried I'm going to screw up a minor construction project in the house. You're inside of somebody's body. Do you get the nerves, or how does that go?
I think that's a funny question.
I mean, like, seriously, like,
because everybody says that. They're like, "Oh, can you go like this? Are your hands not shaking?" But I'll tell you, neither of us are sitting there in surgery,
sticking your hand out, making sure you're not shaking,
making sure it's straight. No, our hands are moving. They're constantly doing things. So I think it's really just more about knowledge, experience, and knowing the anatomy. We're not going to cut something, or we're not going to remove a piece of tissue, or do something without seeing what we're doing. So, it's not blind. I know that I'm gonna grab that piece of bone and remove it, and if I hand slips and I'm not biting the right or touching the right tissue, all of a sudden there's
because you hit the side of the wall.
No, if I'm not touching the right tissue, I don't squeeze my hand. I don't employ the instrument. I don't take that bite of bone. So I make sure that I see what I'm doing.
Yeah, it's a patience thing, I would think, more than anything.
It's just patience and time.
Understanding that, like, we're not in a rush here. I'm going to make sure that I know, because you understand it. That's all about anatomy and understanding what you're dealing with. I think to the rest of us that are not doctors or surgeons, it seems like something that'd be just so overwhelmingly, like, complex. And it seems, and it's interesting, the two of you have a look on your face like, this isn't that hard. I got this. Yeah. Which I like. I want that in my surgeon. That's what I want. If I wanted to call you guys and set up an appointment, I'll give out the number, 708-974-7340. The thing that I know from my kids, they have a thing with an orthopedic place that their pediatrician has, where when they have an injury, especially from sports or something like that, they get told just go straight there. Is this the kind of facility where you need to have a referral ahead of time from a doctor, or will you just see somebody who says, I have a problem?
I think that'll pretty much depend on the type of insurance that you have. For some people, they will need a referral from their primary care physician. For others, depending on your type of insurance, you're able to call and get scheduled without that.
I would imagine they can call here too, because I did that just recently, where I called a place that I had to go see, and I was like, look, I just want to make sure you're under my plan, or do I have to go to my doctor? And they just run the insurance right there at the desk and tell you.
Exactly. I think navigating the insurance system in America can be quite overwhelming. So I think the easiest thing to do would be to call our office, and our staff can help figure it out, and they'll ask you what insurance they have. They may say you do need to call your primary care or even see them first to get a referral, or they may be able to schedule you right away.
All right, so let's say I got a problem. I call up, the insurance works, I'm coming here, I'm going to see one of you guys, and I'm going to put my care in your hands. Is there anything that I should know coming to the first appointment that you want to know? Is it as simple as just be as honest as I possibly can be with you? Is it something where, I should be prepared with like a long history to explain things to you, or is it simply I'm just there and you're gonna ask some questions, feel around, and be like, I know what this is? Like what does a first time patient have to know?
I would just be prepared to talk about your symptoms and what your goals of care are, what kind of activities you like to do, and then to consider the different treatment options, and we're ultimately going to come to a decision on what works best for you together. So, it's not about me prescribing something to a patient. It's about the patient deciding what works best for them.
It's all about an honest patient too, right? I mean, like I learned as I got older, don't be embarrassed. They're a doctor. Like I just say everything. I've made doctors laugh before because I'm like, well, it could be this too. Like I just throw everything out there because I'd rather you have all the information no matter how embarrassing it is. I'm like, the door's shut. I'm telling them everything. And that's what I kind of do. And I would imagine it's easier for you guys. Mm-hmm. You don't mind the uncomfortableness of something that somebody might say to you because you'd rather hear that than have to pry answers out of your patients.
Yeah, that's true. Sure.
Well, guys, I appreciate you sitting down with me. I've learned so much. I think that if I have a knee injury or a spine injury, first I'll be upset, but secondly, I know who to call now. We've become fast friends. Doctors James Bushbach and Stephen Feinberg, thanks so much for joining me.
Thanks a lot.
It's the EP Podcast. All things Evergreen Park. It's the EP Podcast. Evergreen Park.